Many young people today use toxic substance not out of pleasure but as a way to cope up with their emptiness, pressure and loneliness.
So, where does the urge to consume drugs come from? It surely does not come from a point of fulfillment, joy, right? When you are just not okay with yourself and you also don't know the way out, that's when you somehow want to get out of that experience, and that's when booze or drugs come in. That's what makes us drink, right? Fear, loneliness, random gloom, heartbreak, something. Friend ran away with girlfriend, somebody else got a fatter package. Get drunk, spend money, vomit around, spit abuses, get suspended or rusticated, temporarily bask in all the nonsense, and yet the next morning the problem is still there and your situation is back to usual. Are you left with a solution or a hangover? That's the thing. What can the bottle do? It's just
Namaste Acharya ji. First of all, a warm welcome to IIT Guwahati from all the fellow faculties and the colleagues. So my question is, many young people today use toxic substance not out of pleasure but as a way to cope up with their emptiness, pressure and loneliness. So how is it affecting someone's inner mental peace, and how we can break out from this dependence on these substances?
the problem is really not so much moral and ethical. The problem has a physiological dimension, but even that might not be too significant. A young man engaging in substance abuse, or a young woman for that matter, you may continue to be on some kind of narcotics for decades and still remained almost healthy physically. So it's not about ethics or anatomy. It's about efficacy. When you do something, you want a result out of it, no? Only then do you say that the act has been effective, right? Effective. And as human beings with limited energy and limited time spans, you don't want to be wasting yourself on something that does not produce satisfactory effect, right? So where does the urge to consume drugs come from? It surely does not come from a point of fulfillment, joy, right? When the world is all right within you, that's not obviously the moment you feel like giving up on consciousness. Do you? That's not the moment you feel like passing out either. That's the moment when what is just satisfactory. Life is already good. Why would you drown out your consciousness? You'd rather want to be alive in the experience, no? It's already all right within. Why would I want to shift consciousness in a way where experience becomes hazed, unclear, incoherent? I will not want that. So, what's the inner state that demands intoxication? When you are just not okay with yourself, hmm? And you also don't know the way out, right? That's when you somehow want to get out of that experience, and that's when booze or drugs come in. Hmm? It's like closing a book because you can't solve a problem written there. The book is consciousness. The book has a problem. The consciousness has a complex. But I don't have insight, so I can't see through. There is entanglement, I can't sort it out. Now, instead of trying to honestly see what's going on, I rather decide to just shut the damn thing. Have you done that sometimes? The book is open in front of you, or there's an assignment to be completed and submitted, but because you find you're not up to it, what do? The closing of the book and the closure of consciousness are much the same in spirit. But the book has secrets to reveal. And solving problems builds your inner stamina, right? We forego all of that just because we can't stay put, just because we are not displaying enough patience and tenacity. Same thing with consciousness. There is something within which is demanding your attention, which is demanding insight, which is demanding empathy. That's the moment to attend to yourself. That's the moment to look into the mirror. But instead of being more attentive, which requires courage, which requires honesty, we sometimes choose to just break the mirror so that it ceases to reflect even the little it was doing till now. Well, a mirror might be coated with dirt, that's fine. But that does not mean that you shatter the mirror. What do? You wipe away the dirt, don't you? You understand this? First of all, it has to be understood that drinking or drugs are inadequate answers to a real problem. Inadequate and ineffective. Therefore, I said it's not about ethics, it's about efficacy. Morally, there is no problem. You drink, you dance, whatever you want to do, fine. I mean, what right does anybody have to interfere or stop you? Except if you are causing harm to someone, that's fine. For that, there are laws and legalities. That's fine. That will stop you. We are not talking of all that. We are talking of the inner void. What happens the next morning? Is the inner situation solved? Are you left with a solution or a hangover? That's the thing. You are left at a point, same as before, sometimes worse than before. All that you have is memories of an ineffective and rather cowardly escape that lasted no more than a night. Is it possible to get drunk and remain drunk? Unfortunately, you'll have to return to senses. Were it possible to get permanently drunk, maybe we could consider that situation. But that's not going to be possible, right? Get drunk, spend money, vomit around, spit abuses, engage in all kinds of foolhardy behavior, flunk courses, get suspended or rusticated, temporarily bask in all the nonsense, and yet the next morning, the problem is still there, and your situation is back to usual. And what you find around yourself is a shattered bottle, a tumbler that has actually tumbled, random smell that nobody can like, and sometimes a long bill to foot, right? And he'll come and say, you ordered so much, and you'll say, I don't even remember when I ordered so much. Why do I have to pay for it? But you have to. It does not solve anything. The respite is extremely temporary. But we do get some respite at least. So what's the problem? The problem is that we deserve better. The problem is that we are more powerful than that. The problem is that this kind of an escape was never necessary in the first place. Again, no moral problem here. The issue is of dignity. I could have fought the battle in the real sense, on the real battlefield. Instead, I chose to get drunk and pass out. That's not a warrior. That's not a true human being. That's not dignity. That's not someone who would enjoy facing himself in the mirror. Are you getting it? Instead of going for a superficial and temporary solution, why not go to the root of the situation and figure out how the situation turned into a problem? What is it within that demands so much darkness that it would deliberately put out the lights of consciousness? Please consider this. There is something within that can survive only in the dark. And since it can survive only in the dark, it deliberately switches off the lights of consciousness. And that's what we call as inebriation. Inebriation. It's not for nothing that we deliberately lose consciousness. We do that so that the internal darkness can be secured, preserved, protected. Don't we deserve better than that? The question is of human dignity. What would you rather do as students at this premier institute? What would you do? Run away from a problem if you can't solve it, or learn to solve it even if it's difficult? Please tell me. That's the thing with substance abuse. It involves running away. And no problem running away from members of the Jurassic Park if ever you face one. Right? If you face a huge dinosaur, do run away, fine. Here the thing is that you don't even need to run away. You have it in you to beat the situation, to solve the problem, and yet you choose to run away, which is an insult, to who we are. Something can be understood, we chose to not understand it. Something can be solved, we chose not to. Something can be faced, we chose to turn away. That choice indicates lack of dignity. That choice indicates something inferior to courage. Call it cowardice. That's the thing. If in your moment of real joy you still feel like drinking, fine, proceed. Chances are that won't frequently happen. It's always to forget something that one gets into drugs. That forgetting is the opposite of what we really need. We need seeing, not turning away. And seeing is more powerful than you can imagine. If the inner situation gets seen, it gets solved. Outwardly, you have to see and then solve. Inwardly, seeing is solving. Outwardly, you first understand the question and then proceed to figure out an answer, right? Right? Inwardly, the situation is easier. Inwardly, if you can understand the situation, the understanding is the solution. But how will you understand if you are? What will you understand? And there is something within crying to be understood. That's exactly the moment when you should be at your attentive best. But instead of being your attentive best, you choose an escape. Now, I'm not talking of physical problems. I'm not talking of liver cirrhosis here. Maybe you will live 5 or 10 years fewer, that's all right. No issues. Maybe you were to live till 80. You drink so much, you will pass away at 70 and you will foot a huge medical bill. Even that is not a problem. Being here, you will probably earn enough to bear your medical bills and you'll have medical insurance, no issues. And if you live a decade fewer, that would help the carbon emissions. So that too is not a problem. The problem is these 70 years that you will live running away from yourself are not worth it. The problem is not the 10 years that are lost. The problem is the 70 years that are lived in cowardice. If there is a battle worth fighting, let's fight it. Or show your back. Yeah? If there is an inner situation that challenges you, accept the challenge. There is loneliness, accept it. Yes, there is loneliness. What about it? Where does it come from? Who are you, loneliness? Let's talk. If there is fear, let's have fear sit there across the table, one on one. What do you want? What are you threatening me with? That's what makes us drink, right? Fear, loneliness, random gloom, heartbreak, something. Friend ran away with girlfriend. Somebody else got a fatter package. Let's face it. What's happening? who within me is so much at pain and so very worried. Let me talk to that one. Who is it sitting within and making all kinds of noises? I want to understand. Instead of scattering myself away through substance, I actually want to gather myself, compose myself, and talk. Look at the inner one in the eye, face to face. Yeah? And after that, when you find all stands resolved, if you still feel like drinking or something, fine, do that. Do that. The problem is not in the bottle. The problem is in being a coward. What can the bottle do? It's just some water, some this, some that, some ethanol. Who would say C2H5OH is unethical? What are we talking? Nothing wrong with the bottle. But who wants to live with a coward within? Do you? That's the problem. You don't even want to live with a coward as your roommate, do you? Then how can you live with a coward as your heartmate, sitting within you all the time? Hmm? Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sonia Agnihotri and I am with Acharya ji from last 2.5 months. And before that, I used to listen him from YouTube, but I think mostly things have changed when I joined the Gita sessions. So I can give one example. Like earlier, I listened some of the YouTube content from Acharya ji, but most of the things I decoded based on my understanding. So based on that, I took some bad decisions of my life. I would say it's a really big decision that one should not take, but still after some time when I got to know about the Gita session and I joined that, then I got some clarity. I understood like what we do is we got the content and we mixed up with our own understanding or our own greed as well. So let's say if I want to get married, I see Acharya's video and interpret it in some other way. So this is some thing I got to know after joining the session. So for me, the most important part is it's good you listen to him from YouTube, from any other source, but sessions are the most biggest blessings for all of us. So now I am out of many of the things. Still many things are going in the background that I cannot share as of now, but I would say I am handling everything very smoothly. I am working professional, my whole family, my parents, my brother, my sister, and his wife, and even a small baby. She is also a member. We came here today. So we all are vegan. We changed our lifestyle. We are more focused towards health. My mother was she had many, like she's a twice cancer survivor. But today she was here. She saw Acharya ji. She got so much strength. Right now she is doing yoga, everything. So we are working on ourselves. We try everyone. One should try at least listen to him with open mind, because this is the most important part. If you don't listen him open mind, then you might interpret anything. But I found the most karuna, the Acharya say all the time, this prem and karuna, we can just feel from his words and everything, whatever he does. So today I got a chance. First time I'm volunteering for this event also. So it was very beautiful journey. I wish I will continue this. Thanks.